So, what is mediation? I'm John Hind, a mediator, a lawyer, coach and trainer. I'll answer this question, what is mediation, by beginning with a vision many couples share at the time of separation, but just can't believe will be possible given the emotional turmoil at the time. So imagine, if you can, over 2 years has now passed, and all that intense emotion flying around at the time is a memory and now much more manageable. The vision is one of a new life which has settled down, a life in which you are now both playing your full part, working together as parents and in your new homes. In this video, I want you to join me in designing the ideal dispute resolution process which helped you to achieve this vision. So what will you start with? Well, what about some founding principles? Most separating couples I speak to want to be able to reach their own financial agreements and child arrangements if they thought they could. Based on this assumption, let's build a process which focuses on motivating, enabling and supporting you and your former partner to do just that, a process based on the principles of self-determination and accountability. Now, self-determination and accountability are of course all well and good, but what help and support do you each need to enable you to reach your own agreements and be accountable for this? So what would help? Well, a personal guide. What about a personal guide? Someone independent, specifically trained to help you both communicate in difficult circumstances. Someone who can provide you with legal information and resources. In other words, a neutral facilitator and information provider. For the moment, let's call that person or your guide. This person will ensure that you feel individually supported as well as supported to work together as an effective separation problem-solving team. Now, this is often a difficult tightrope to walk, but one which is walked every day by trained and skilled neutral facilitators. Thirdly, what else will you need? Well, it's got to be voluntary. If you and your partner are going to be able to work positively and constructively with your guide, it's important that neither of you feel compelled to do so. If you do, you certainly won't feel motivated to overcome obstacles as and when they arise. My experience is that without this motivation, the separation process can feel a great deal tougher. Also, an agreement which feels imposed on you is unlikely to last and could cause long-term resentment. We all know how damaging long-term resentment and unresolved conflict can be on your children. Fourthly, the fourth factor, confidentiality. Now, having decided to work with your guide to try and reach your own agreements, you'll want to feel safe and secure that what's said during your meetings cannot be used against you if you end up in court. Discussions must therefore be confidential before there can be an open and honest exchange of views and concerns, and before all options for agreement can be openly explored. That said, you'll also both want to be able to rely on financial information and documentation you've gathered and shared if you end up in court. This information and documentation will not be confidential. This should save you the costs of having to gather it all over again. Fifthly, the important teamwork. If other family experts are needed, such as a pension actuary or an accountant to value the business, this needs to be carefully managed in an open and transparent way by your guide, working closely with you and the other experts, saving everyone time and costs. Equally, if you need help from other supporting organisations, you will need the pathway to these organisations to be clear and straightforward, and to know what's going to happen when you get there. So in summary, remembering that future vision we set out, a life in which you are working together as parents in your new homes. We now have the 5 main components of the ideal dispute resolution process set out before us, which we've been designing. So let's look at them. Number 1, the founding principles, a process based on the principles of self-determination and accountability. Number 2, a process in which you both feel fully supported by a neutral facilitator and a guide. And number 3, a process which is voluntary, in which you both feel motivated and supported to reach your own agreements. And number 4, a process which is confidential, in which you both feel you can openly and honestly explore options, views and concerns. And finally, a process based on teamwork, which is focused and cost effective. This process is family mediation. Thanks for watching.